but it looks, you know, like this one. Connected to it. It doesn't look like it logged in.
I'm going to get out myself and I'm going to get back in.
Okay.
I've never seen that before. Well, if I do that, it looks like I'll kick everybody out, though.
Yeah, don't. I think
Yeah,
Tom might be logged in. And then just go to webinar and hit back. See if you're logged in too. Yeah, no, it doesn't show that Tom's logged in.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what to. I usually have an option to start the broadcast, and it says where that window normally is. It says that attendees are still on hold. Press *1 to start the broadcast. But I'm hitting. I don't know if it. Would that be you guys? Maybe on your phone? Because I'm hitting on mine. It's not working.
What's that? Pull the whole thing out. Sorry. Sharing, the sharing tab, the little arrow next to it. Sorry. Show screen, change presenter. So show screen is checked for us.
Yeah, your screen is checked, but it says everybody's still on hold. They can't hear us.
Go to the.
Yeah, like I've got people asking on the question box that they can't hear us. How do we?
But just on.
Welcome to the webinar. You have entered as an organizer and may now speak to any other organizers or panelists on the line. When you are ready to begin the presentation, press the Start Broadcast button on the GoToWebinar control panel to allow all attendees to hear you. This system will notify you once you begin your broadcast. The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Series presented by the Education Committee for the Southern California PGA. Very excited to welcome Southern California section of the PGA CEO, Mr. Tom Addis, as our presenter this morning. Of course, everyone knows Mr. Addis, and he needs no introduction. Past PGA National President in 1995 and 1996, and he's been the CEO of our section since 2006. Good morning, Mr. Addis. Welcome to the Catalyst webinar series.
Good morning, John. Good morning, everybody. Nice to be here this morning. And sorry we got off a little bit late. It wasn't me, though. I have to, admit that. And what we'd like to do today, while you're all hopefully watching the U.S. Open and the championship is on in your golf shop or your office or wherever you are, we're going to spend a few minutes this morning talking about the PGA, the Southern California PGA. What you'll see is as we go through the program. And then please, John will monitor questions that you might have, and even throughout the broadcast, if we can answer those questions during the broadcast, that would be great. What you're going to see is a series of slides, and if any of you have been in our new member orientations, you'll recognize a great deal of this material, but it is, I shouldn't say but, it is a piece of what the PGA of America is, and of course what the Southern California PGA is, and hopefully we'll all learn a little bit together, see what's available to you as a section member. John will talk about this, but remember you're going to you'll have the opportunity to take a short quiz following this webinar that will give you a MSR credit. And those of you who need the credits, please take that little quiz as quickly as you can and get it to Sharon by the end of the day, or back into the office by the end of the day, or by noon tomorrow, tomorrow being the deadline for MSR, and that'll allow us to get those credits posted for you before the deadline. So hopefully we'll be able to take care of that. As it says, the PGA of America was founded in 1916, and we currently have 28 to 29,000 men and women PGA professionals around the country and a few around the world. So we're known as the world's largest sports organization. And a few facts. We are the Southern California section is the third largest section in the country, behind the Carolinas and South Florida. We have around 500 facilities in Southern California. That counts golf courses, practice driving ranges, indoor golf facilities, and the like. Around 350 golf courses. We have a great many short courses, by the way. We have around 60 short courses, just so you know, in Southern California. And of course, we're the home of current PGA President Paul Levy, and then along with myself, honored to serve as President of the PGA of America, Pat Riley, and then Joe Novak, formerly of Bel Air, and Pat Riley, of course, formerly of Annandale. We have two past PGA professional national champions, Jeff Freeman in 1999, and then Michael Block in 2014. Michael is playing in the U.S. Open this week, and then we'll travel to Monterey. He hopes, or maybe he hopes not, because if he makes the cut, he probably won't go to Monterey. So we'll see how that pans out. And then you'll see later on, we have one of the largest junior golf programs in the country with our PGA, Southern California PGA Junior Tour, and our Toyota Tour Cup, which is unrivaled in competition and alums across the country as well. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Just a reminder too, and then of course there's Michael's picture up there. Michael's our current section champion, and as said, playing at Shinnecock, teeing off I think at 142 or 242 today. Remind you that our website, SCPGA.com, is one of the best and one of the more organized websites anywhere. And those of you who participate in our tournament education programs, all of our member programs, utilize our website frequently. PGA.org, of course, is the PGA of America administrative site where you go to look up your profile as well as what MSR credits you might have. PGA of America, as I mentioned, was established in 1916 in New York City, and the PGA, we're proud to administer and own, if you will, the major golf championships listed there. Starting with the PGA Championship was at Belle Reve this August, the Senior PGA Championship that was just contested in Michigan, the Ryder Cup, of course, which this year, the end of September, is in Paris. The KPMG Women's PGA Championship, the end of this month at Kemper Lakes in Chicago. Our PGA Professional Championship, which starts on Sunday up at the Bayonet Course at the Old Fort Ord at the end of this week. Our Senior PGA Professional Championship, and then our PGA Assistants Championship. So along with the winter program and, of course, the various section programs around the country. This is a map of the PGA sections. There are 41 sections. We're the Southern California section. That is in the lower left-hand corner of the map. And we're in what's the PGA, along with being allocated in 41 geographical areas called sections. And you might remember years and years ago, sections is the way that land was divided and referred in the old days, and that's where the word section came from. We're in what's District 11, which includes Southern California, Northern California, and the Aloha or Hawaii section. We're a very close district, do a lot of things together, and as I mentioned before, the largest working sports organization in the world. In our section, our footprint, which goes from right around San Luis Obispo across to Beatty, Nevada, and south. As you see on this PowerPoint, we have 5 chapters in our section, and each chapter is self-sufficient, self-governing, and very, very active. Starting with San Diego chapter at the very south, the desert chapter, which of course is the Coachella Valley, and goes up to a point in Banning, California. I live in Beaumont, so that's right next door. The Metro chapter with LA and Orange counties, and San Diego and Metro are 2 largest chapters. San Bernardino, the Inland Empire chapter is our largest in geography and the largest in the country, but our smallest chapter in numbers. And then we have the Northern chapter, very, very large chapter that has Ventura, Kern, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo County. So each chapter, as you probably know, has their own activities, whether it's a tournament program, a member tournament program, or a education program and the like. So very, very busy. It's a very busy section with the amount of events that we have and the very, very busy chapters. Here's our PGA of America leadership. Mentioned before, Paul Levy, our president. Susie Whaley will take office in November right here in Indian Wells. The PGA of America annual meeting is in Indian Wells at the Indian Wells Resort. As a matter of fact, Susie just qualified for the Senior Women's Open on Tuesday. So congratulations to Susie. Jim Richardson, who lives in Arizona, is our secretary. He'll move up to vice president in November, and we have 4 candidates running for secretary who will be up for election at Indian Wells. Derek Sprague, who's now the general manager at TPC of Sawgrass, and then of course Pete Bavacqua, our CEO, has been with us about 6 years. And then you see down below the senior staff. One thing I want to say, along with our staff here at the section, all of these staff people who you see with the PGA of America are easy to contact and easy to maintain contact with. So I would recommend, if you have any questions, and obviously call me, but the staff at PGA of America is always available as well. Here you see our board of directors. Todd Kiefer, our president, from Wilshire Country Club. He's the general manager at Wilshire, as you probably know. Tony Latendre is our vice president and will step into the president's chair, or sit in the president's chair, beginning on December 10th at our annual meeting at Wilshire this year. Robin Shelton will move up to vice president, and then Eric Lohman was just approved and ratified by the board of directors this past, a week ago Sunday, as the new secretary. And then you see the rest of our board listed here, very active. Allison and Kim are independent directors. Rob, Scott, Eric, Joe Groman, Derek Hardy, and Randy Chang are all voted at-large members. And then we have our chapter representatives with Mike Holick, Vic, Dave Mowry, Steve Adamiak, and Mike Valdez from the Northern chapter. So that's our board of directors, and very, very active, very, very busy board. Rob Oosterhouse, for example, and Joe Groman are co-chair of our special awards committee that we're in the process of that process right now. Just an org chart very quickly to show the organization of our governance here in the Southern California section. The board of directors, our staff, we have 23 some committees in the section, and I personally answer to the board as your executive director, and specifically the president. And then it shows the 5 chapters down below on the bottom line of the org chart. So that's our governance, and that's how governance works in our section, through the chapters, through the committees, into the board of directors for decision-making process. Here's our staff, and hopefully you've come to know, if not all, most of the people pictured here. In the lower right-hand corner is Nikki Gatch and Ken Farrell, who both work for the PGA of America. Nikki's our regional PGA Junior League manager, and Ken is our career consultant for the PGA. And you see Jeff and Max, our tournament director, on through Kevin Smith, and then of course there's Sharon. Christy Wadamina is our finance manager. Eddie Rodarte is junior golf manager, handles our junior development tour, the Matt Gilson Foundation. Dave Kuhn is our partner relations manager. Ariana Gomez is our meeting and events manager. Taylor is our human resource manager. Stephen Monday, you all know from our tournament program. Anthony Leone is our player development manager in golf and schools. Bryce Seaver is our communications. Travis Cutler, junior golf. Brent Johnston, junior golf. Amberlynn Dorsey, junior golf. Tyler Miller is junior golf. Max Berman is a player development administrator for us. So very active, very, very busy staff. We run, just to give you an example, we run over 175 tournaments per year out of our office. We do a multitude of educational programs, as well as our junior golf program, and a great deal of community programs that you'll see a little bit later. So very proud of the staff and what they do. This gives you an idea of the corporate entities that we have in Southern California, starting with the Southern California section, as you might call the parent corporation. That's along with the PGA of America. The Southern California section is the chartered entity by the PGA. Along with the PGA of America, the section is a tax-exempt corporation, and due to that, we have to meet certain requirements, tax-wise and legally, to maintain that tax-exempt status. The Southern California PGA Corporation is our tournament corporation, where all of the tournament events, chapter tournament events, are run through the SCPGA Corp., which is a for-profit corporation. We've separated our tournament corp from the section to eliminate any questions, and this was done in the mid-'80s to eliminate any questions that we might be transferring section funds into tournament funds, which via the tax laws is not legal. Some of you may know that as inurement, and we have to be very protective of that. Thus the two corporations, separation of the two corporations. Then we have our Southern California PGA Foundation that houses our junior golf program, our player development programs, golf and schools, working with allied associations, scholarships and grants, and the like. And you'll learn a little bit more about that as we near the end of this webinar. But three corporations, that's how we're structured, and that might even end up on your little quiz. So thought you should know that about how our section works. This is a section that I feel is pretty important. This is the benefits that we receive as PGA members, whether it be through the section or through the PGA of America. You know, a lot of times I get asked, as your executive director, CEO, is why should I be a member of the PGA? What benefits do I have? Well, from that we said, well, let's list and see what we do have. And if you take advantage of what's out there for you, there's some great opportunities for you. Most recently, by the way, is, and I hope you're taking advantage and know about this, is what's called the PGA Perks program, which allows you to go in and purchase goods from various retailers and suppliers at a pretty good discounted price. A good example is Samsung and the pricing that we're able to get as PGA members on Samsung products or KitchenAid products, which is a quality product, not very inexpensive to begin with, but we do get very, very good pricing on that quality product. And some of the other things that might be beneficial, you don't think about this, but using the logo and the way the logo is promoted by the PGA of America and by the section, and the education opportunities that we have, notwithstanding the printed materials and the online materials and the social materials that come out from our section that benefits you. Our objective in our office and the section is to benefit you as PGA members and your facilities, and it's our job. That is our in-house mission that we work through every single day to support you as PGA members and PGA professionals, and as well as your facilities. And if that means providing programs and activities that help make all of us as PGA members better, or even providing programs that create incremental revenue for you or your facility. PGA Junior League being a great example of that, and the opportunity for some incremental revenue for you as PGA professionals as well as your facility by participating with PGA Junior League. So that's our objective, and we feel that's one of the focuses of the benefits that we as PGA members enjoy. So take a look at that when you have the opportunity. It's on the website, and take advantage of the programs that are available for you. I've mentioned MSR, and just a reminder that the MSR ends tomorrow, and those of you who need the credits right now, make sure you get that quiz and get that in by noon, and we'll start a new period as of Saturday. So there's going to be some changes. There's going to be a few more opportunities to gather credits that you didn't have before. That will help, I believe, and you'll see a lot of changes when it comes to certification, the Master Professional Program, career paths, and so keep your eyes and ears open for that. And as we go through the rest of this year, we'll talk more about education and the career path changes that are coming up. There's going to be more of a focus on the teaching, golf instruction, and coaching career path. A little more focus on the general manager career path, management career path, and then of course the typical golf operations career path. So you're going to see 3 distinct pathways to membership through the PGA of America. So I think that's something through education that is pretty exciting. Our section is a leader in education, speaking of, with our seminars, our programs that we do, especially coming up in October with our Teaching and Coaching Summit. Last year was at Virginia. Many of you probably attended that. We had 300 people attend that. This year is at the Grand down in Del Mar with Sean Cox, and we have a great lineup of instructors and coaches headed by Hank Haney. And the maximum audience there will be 225. So when you get the opportunity, take a look at that and put that on your calendar so you don't miss. Then, of course, we have the Catalyst series that runs every other week. That's really a great program that's now become nationally known and nationally admired. And we do these, what are called these one-on-one workshops, primarily in marketing. We have a consultant by the name of Chris Locke that if any of you needed help in social media, setting up socials, working with marketing, you can contact me, and we provide Chris to you to help you with your marketing and internet programs and anything else that you may need. So that's something to think about that the section provides for making all of us better. Our tournament program, as I mentioned earlier, is one of the more active and popular member tournament programs in the country, with the activities that we run, whether it be our section championship, which is this September, La Quinta Country Club in Rancho La Quinta. Next year is at Santa Ana Country Club, and then the year after is at La Costa Country Club. So we have a great lineup for our section championship. As I mentioned before, Michael Block is the defending champion, and we will look forward to probably 150 or so players in that championship. And for the first time, we've reached $100,000 in the purse. So we're very proud of that with our section championship. And our sponsor program that you'll see a little bit later, our partnership program, is expanded dramatically and allows us to do that. The purse for the Monday meeting 2 weeks ago in Coronado was $18,000. The pro assistant purse coming up at the end of September is looking like it'll be around $25,000 to $30,000 for our pro assistant, just to give you an idea. So we worked very, very hard, whether it be for the women's division, the senior division, our regular divisions, to the assistance program, to build those purses. And Dave Kuhn, who's our partner relations manager, has done a fabulous job in nurturing existing partners as well as bringing in new partners. So we're proud of that. And our senior program is second to none around the country, with about 19 events and a great program there. So if you don't participate, we encourage you to participate in our Southern California PGA Tournament program and the events, whether it be a chapter or a section that's available to you throughout the year. Speaking of that, and encourage you to download the SCPGA application. Has all the information, has the scheduling, has a PGA member directory, and for our events, and in particular the section championships, the live scoring opportunity with our application. So I would encourage you to do that, and you can sign up for events as you might expect using the application, and it's right there for you. So take a look at that, the availability of that application, and the benefits and the information that it will provide you.
TA, is that app powered by Blue Golf also?
Thanks for reminding me. Yes, it is. It's the primary base of that application, even though it's available in those other two the App Store and Google Play. It is Blue Golf based, and that's what allows us to provide those results on an ongoing basis for you. So, you know, someone might ask, and this is kind of inside information, why we use Blue Golf, because there's a couple of others out there like Golf Genius, for example. It's pretty good, but that's one of the very reasons that we stay with Blue Golf, is because of what they provide us through the application. Plus, in addition to that, Blue Golf's capability on a daily basis that ties in with the PGA accounting department, for example, that gives us updated information, whether money lists or whatever it might be. So good question, John. Thank you. Talk a little bit about our foundation. The foundation is our charitable arm. We're a 501c3 corporation. And the foundation houses, as it says, all of our growth of the game / player development initiatives, including our award-winning junior golf tour. Our pride of our foundation is our Clubs for Youth program that we started a year ago this summer, actually in July, where we provide sets of golf clubs to members of high school teams that don't have the equipment or obviously can't afford the equipment. And as you see here, so far we've donated 327 sets of clubs, both left and right-handed, and in boys and girls. This program is supported by Wilson Sporting Goods. The set of clubs averages about $150. Our cost, Wilson gives us a break on those clubs, as well as provides us the delivery at no charge which is an exceptional amount of money, as you might expect, shipping the clubs from Chicago to Southern California. So far, we have 50 schools that have been impacted by this program. And just a couple of other things, 35 tanks of gas for our section vehicles and 3,600 miles driven. And that's just through May. We anticipate by the end of this year to have distributed 600 sets of golf clubs to these high school teams and these individuals on these high school teams. So it's a great program, nationally recognized, one that our foundation board came up with as our signature. One of the things we talked about in determining what we wanted to do for a signature program is we use the example, and those of us who've lived in small towns and with high school football teams, we all had a campaign to build a scoreboard and to raise money to build a scoreboard, and that was the prime focus. And that's kind of the philosophy we used here, is the scoreboard philosophy and raising money for a scoreboard. Well, ours is the Clubs for Youth program. So we're really proud of that and what it's doing and what it continues to do, and will be a perpetual program on and on. So we're very, very proud of that. Player development, this is a brief look at what we call our player pathway. Starts with our introductory programs, like our neighborhood golf program, which is a community golf program we take around that has props like hitting cages and contests like that. We're spending a lot of time with corporations now and bringing golf into the corporate structure as an activity for these corporations, whether it be MGM or Boeing or whatever that corporation might be, and we go to their health fairs or their employee fairs and provide golf instruction on a miniature basis through our neighborhood golf program. It also hits kids. Then we have our Golf in Schools program, which right now we run a Golf in Schools program in Orange County. Then we have our golf camps with clinics and events, up to player development programs, which includes drive, chip, and putt, includes PGA Junior League. Our Junior League program this year, we had nearly a 28% increase, for example, and in our Junior League programming, and a significant number of kids participating, nearly 2,000 kids participating in PGA Junior League in Southern California. So Nikki Gatch has done a great job, and our staff has done a great job in regards to providing that program. And then, of course, drive, chip, and putt. We're in the middle of the drive, chip, and putt season as well. That'll lead to the regional finals where kids, of course, the winners there will head to Augusta for the drive, chip, and putt finals at Augusta National and the Masters. Then we start our junior tour with our junior development program, tour and clinics. We do free clinics for kids, teach them how to play, not only how to play golf, but how to get around the golf course, which is the structure of the junior development tour that we have. We do about 75 events in that tour alone, which are 9-hole competitions, ages 5 to 17, to help prepare kids if they'd like to go on to our players tour. We started a 5 to 7-year-old division this year where parents will caddy for the kids in that 5 to 7 division. So that's been extremely popular. And again, as they graduate to the players tour, which is the bulk of our tour players, about 1,500 kids participate in our players tour, which is a series of about 130 events, around 150 events around the section, sometimes running 3 and 4 on a weekend in various geographical areas. And by the way, our program, which has about 2,500 members, San Diego has one of the most popular programs on their own with about 1,100 or 1,200 members. So Southern California obviously is a hotbed for junior golf. And when you hear people outside the industry, or even sometimes inside the industry, say junior golf is is not doing well, those persons are not studying or looking around them very well either, because junior golf is thriving not only in Southern California but around the country. And we're very, very proud to be one of the leaders in that regard. And then we have our Southern California PGA Toyota Tour Cup. We have 23 events in the Tour Cup. Those are very, very high level, high competition. You saw this past month and earlier this month the NCAA championships with the Haley Moore making the winning putt for the women to win the women's title and then NCAA for University of Arizona. And then Matthew Wolf making the winning putt, who's one of our alums for Oklahoma State. So our alums from our Toyota Tour Cup right front and center. Norman Zhang, last year was the freshman player of the year, as a college player, just turned professional. One of our top alums, Aliyah Abdelghani, Tiger Woods, of course, and Brendan Steele, Ricky Fowler. We're very proud of that program and what it brings and provides. So that gives you an idea of what we do on a daily basis in order to develop players and keep those players going. Mention the Drive Chip and Putt Championship. And by the way, in October, we're going to do a professional Drive Chip and Putt. We're going to have a 2-hour education event that'll be much like this, what we're doing today. And then we'll have lunch. Then we'll do a PGA professional Drive Chip and Putt that will be a lot of fun. We'll have a barbecue following that, so it'll be kind of a social event. We'll have cash and symbolic prizes. Spouses and partners and significant others will be invited to attend, so it'll be great fun. So look for that in October. We're excited about it, and it's a playoff on the Drive Chip and Putt Championship that's so significant in the world of golf, and as mentioned earlier. PGA Junior League, already covered that in regards to the numbers there. That's a picture from a couple of years ago with PGA professional John Mason and their team, who won the national championship in 2015. So pretty exciting there. SCPGA Link, that's a program that we like to say benefits you, the PGA professional. When we do neighborhood golf or Drive Chip and Putt, our junior association programs, our objective is to link those players with you at your facilities. And SCPGA Link's an application that pushes those new players to you. You can see there's a map in the lower right-hand corner. We're revising some things with SCPGA Link at this point, and going to go back out and make contact with you again and our PGA professionals around Southern California, and in our effort again to push that revenue activity to your facilities, whether it's a range or a golf course, indoor facility, whatever it might be, through providing a free clinic here and there, and then hopefully those kids and those people, not just kids, you'll be able to recruit those individuals for golf instruction and to participate and bring incremental revenue to your facilities. So pretty exciting program, and so keep your eyes and open for that. Mention the Junior Tour. This is our junior development program. Again, those are the 3 logos. Kevin Smith is our junior golf director. We have a staff of 6 people who manage these events, nearly 300 events a year, and 2,600 members participating in this program, which is pretty amazing, actually. I know I've been rambling here a little bit, and we're getting near the end, but just wanted to express how important our allied associations are, the working relationship that we have with the Southern California Golf Association, and in particular their SCGA Junior program and their Player Pass. And some of you might be involved in that. That allows these player pass juniors to play at your facility for $3 or $4 or $5 a round, and then you receive a subsidy from the SCGA in the like amount. Hit a bucket of range balls for $1 or $2, and again receive a subsidy back from the SCGA. A great program, and we're proud to have the opportunity to work with the SCGA and many programs, and in particular, as you see sort of in the upper right-hand side there, California Alliance for Golf, which is an advocacy group that we support. We have a lobbyist in Sacramento that works for you, that works very diligently, whether it be issues with water, whether it be issues with labor, whatever it might be here in the state of California. Sales tax, we've been able to dodge that for a while, due in fact to the involvement of the California Alliance for Golf. Our relationship with the Superintendent's Association of the club managers is extraordinary. The California Golf Course Owners Association, we do programs together with the CGCOA, the superintendents, of course the USGA, the National Golf Course Owners, NGF, PGA Tour. We handle all of the qualifiers to the tour events here in Southern California for the PGA Tour. We are compensated for that, which helps us with our admin for our tournament program. So we're very active with all of these allied associations, and couldn't do a lot of the things that we do without the support of these groups. Just a brief little look at our partners. This is a partial list of our partners. I mentioned Dave's name, and encourage you, any opportunity you have to interact with our partners. They're extremely important to what we do, whether it be education or our tournament program, as I mentioned before. And because of our relationship with these organizations, these manufacturers, these representatives, we're able to play, like I said, at Coronado a week or so ago for $18,000. The pro assistant later on at Mission Hills for $25,000 to $30,000, and our section championship for about $100,000. So, and then our annual meeting at Wilshire will be somewhere around the $15,000 purse area. So, thanks to these as listed, we're able to do that, and they help us provide education as well as the tournament purses. So please support your Southern California PGA partners, whether it be with a call or a thank you note when you play in an event. That goes a long, long way. This just a slide on our socials. We are very active. You probably, if you were on Facebook this morning from SCPGA, you would have seen at least 3 different posts, and on Instagram for what's happening at the U.S. Open with our alums that are playing there, as well as Michael Block. And we do our best to follow that all the way through. And Twitter, of course, we have the largest number of followers on Twitter, and this is growing regularly, especially on Instagram as well. Those continue to grow very quickly. I'd like to call attention to our Southern California PGA Teachers Huddle and our Southern California PGA Women's site on Facebook. Those are exclusive. They take approval by me, by the way, to join those 2 groups, and I would encourage you to join. There's a back and forth with the teachers and the women's group that's pretty valuable, and I would encourage you to utilize those programs on the socials. So pretty important, and one that's going to continue to grow and grow and grow, as you will see. Just like video presentations are going to continue to be more and more part of what we do, as you've seen with our member-to-member. I encourage you to take a look at that stuff. Our program magazine, which should be in the mail to you pretty soon, either tomorrow or even Monday. So you should expect your program magazine. which I believe we do a very, very nice job with that magazine, and we hope you enjoy that. That's what we feel very strongly as one of the benefits that we have. And if you're not tired of me now, you can think about it when we sign off. But thanks for the time. And John, I don't know if there's any questions that anybody has, but please don't hesitate to use us. We are a resource for you. We love what we do here, and we're available to you. And you can call me anytime. My mobile number is on my it's on the website, but it's 858-775-7421, 858-775-7421. You can contact me anytime or text me, and I'll respond whatever you might need, whether it's a weekend. My job is a 24/7 deal, and I may not respond after 8 o'clock because I fall asleep early because I get up around 4:30. But I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So stay in contact, and look forward to seeing you soon down the road at one of our events.
Thank you very much, TA. Fantastic. Several questions have come in, particularly in the diversified educational movement going forward for 2019. You talked about the focus being more centralized for the general management path, the teaching and coaching path, and then the traditional golf ops path. Do you have rough numbers on what the percentages of the section breakdown on who's in which category?
Right now I don't, because it hasn't started. Once we'll be tracking all of that once the program is official. Currently we're using what you'd call the PGM program as golf operations. That's the way it's structured now. And the golf operations path is not going to be too different from that. So once we get into that pathway, as well as the certification pathway, we'll be able to track that very closely. Because that's a good question, John, because that's really important to us, and especially when we embark on that new education program, how we're taking advantage of that, not only in the new member pathway, but as our new education programs are structured as well. So tracking will be very important. Right now, the attrition rate for our PGM program, as well as our PGM universities, we have a huge amount of attrition. Our attrition rate in our university programs is really extraordinary. You wouldn't think so, but when a person graduates from PGM University, we're losing a great percentage of those graduates as they get out and find that the golf business is a little tougher than they thought it would be. Compensation isn't what they thought it would be. They're moving to other careers and categories. So, but yet the beautiful thing about our business is the opportunities, whether it be on golf course maintenance, golf course operations, golf instruction, tournament operations, admin like I'm doing. There are still some pretty good opportunities out there that we need to work on and push a little bit more. I hope that answers your question, John, but that's where we are right now.
No, it does, certainly. And it kind of ties into the attrition rate of people leaving the business or coming into the business and not sticking through the GPTP program all the way through to membership. Yeah. Do you find that there are, because that also coincides with, golf courses and, their coming and going rate. Do you find that there's more opportunity or less opportunity with property owners struggling and management companies struggling and golf courses, their own cycle of too many golf courses and the market's kind of right-sizing? Do you find that there's a correlation between available jobs now versus before?
Absolutely, and available jobs in the future. You know, there is an attrition both in our associate, which by the way is the new word for apprentice, associate, as well as our members, as I mentioned, and of course in golf courses. Now, in Southern California, we seem to have fewer closures than other places in the country. And one of the reasons, John, whoever asked that question, is because of the management companies that are prevalent in Southern California. And centralized operations is why, in some cases, a management company or a cache of golf courses operated by management companies might survive longer or in perpetuity based on centrality and having a group of courses to reduce expenses, where the individual owner is going to struggle a little bit more because of that. I think the influx of new ownership, and sometimes not understanding the golf business. Golf business, everybody knows, is pretty complicated with the different businesses we have. Just one golf course, you've got golf course maintenance / golf course operations / food and beverage / retail in the golf shop / a golf cart business that takes its own focus. Human resources, especially here in California, and that's only going to get more difficult. I don't know if you all are aware of the new independent contractor rule that was just passed, where it's going to be much more difficult for a golf facility to, and you need to be aware of this, to maintain anyone with independent contractor status, because the new law states, the new policy states that an independent contractor cannot, I'm going to use my own language, cannot mirror the core business of that organization. Well, independent contractors have been golf instruction. And a golf course, golf instruction is part of what we do. So it's going to be very difficult to judge and administer the independent contractor going forward. John, it could have a huge impact on what we do in California in the golf business and how we structure our human resources, our personnel going forward. So that's something we have to pay particular attention to. And if an owner operator is not paying attention to that, there could be some severe repercussions. So you'll see more and more on that as time goes on. We're going to talk more and more on that as a section, as a business, as time goes on as well.
Well, and it also speaks to new investors that are very hesitant to get in golf operations, because, as John McNair said a couple of weeks ago on his presentation, there's no home runs in terms of investing in the golf business. There's no home runs or instant money makers. Every dollar earned and every penny earned is a strategic move, and it's a grind, and it's a success in the golf business in terms of a baseball, and he equated it to a baseball team. Success in the golf business is not it's not a home run endeavor. It's a series of base hits and strategically moving your base runners around to score runs and win the game with smart pitching. There are no home runs in this business, and I think that speaks to perhaps one of the reasons why growth of new investors is kind of limited, and those golf management companies are able to hang on because they know how to play that strategic game.
Yeah, because revenue production is so difficult today. You know that, and that's the biggest challenge. You know, the average green fee around the country went way down. It's creeping back up a little bit, but it's still not near what it was in the 90s and early 2000s. And your expenses, you take a look at a revenue line that might have been, increasing and back down the level. Now that line is going down on a graph, and your expense line, with whether it be insurance or fuel costs or whatever it might be, is going up. And in many cases, operations, those two lines have intersected, with the expense line going up and the revenue line going down. So there's a saying that a lot of us have in the golf business, and is somebody wants to give me a golf course for free. Well, in many cases, free is too expensive. And that's the challenge in the golf business today. And I feel for the golf operators and for our PGA professional out there. And that's why we try to do what we can to help in any way we can with our golf pros. I was in the golf operations business for 40 some years, and yes, I'm old, and it's tough. I feel for everybody out there.
Okay, it looks like, oh yes, we do have another question here. Do we have a location for the drive, chip, and putt championship?
The regional finals, yeah, it's at Torrey Pines. Again, September 22nd.
And do we have a title sponsor for that?
The drive, chip, and putt doesn't have a title sponsor other than the Masters, the USGA, and the PGA. In fact, it's interesting because with drive, chip, and putt, that's its own label. And at least from what we've been told, there won't be a title sponsor for drive, chip, and putt.
Okay, last call for questions. Mr. Addis, yeah. Last call for questions. I want to thank Mr. Addis for your time in putting together this presentation today. Obviously, there's a wealth of information and a wealth of resources and services that the section provides its members, and it's important to get that information out there. I want to thank you for your time today. I want to also remind everybody that the YouTube recording of this morning's Catalyst is going up on the SCPGA YouTube page. I'm going to be sending out also the quiz for this morning's presentation. Please take that quiz and return it to Sharon Kerfman, skerfman@pgahq.com. Now, normally with the MSR cycle ending tomorrow, there was no sense of urgency on taking the quiz and sending it in the past. However, we do need this quiz taken and turned in, emailed to Sharon Kerfman no later than 12 o'clock tomorrow. So take the Tom Addis Catalyst quiz, 10-question quiz. A score of 70% or higher will earn you 1 MSR for attending today's Catalyst. And be sure to get that over to Sharon Kerfman no later than 12 p.m. tomorrow. Want to remind everybody that our next Catalyst presentation is going to be on June 28th, where Robin Shelton, Regional Manager for American Golf Corporation and General Manager at Seacliff Country Club, and Secretary for the Southern California Board of Directors for the SCPGA, will be presenting on associateship. And as Mr. Addis alluded to a little earlier in the presentation, apprenticeship, and the term apprentice is now being referred to and coined as associate and associateship. So that'll be the focus of Robin Shelton's presentation on June 28th. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning on the Catalyst. Mr. Addis, thank you very much for your time today. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks for your help.
Yeah, absolutely.